Hello again and welcome to Letter from England, broadcasting for AC Press and the Spanish Evangelical Alliance. Evangelicals who have been campaigning for a long time now for greater equality and the end of discrimination in state ceremonies and their relation with religious groups are celebrating a great step forward this week as Catholic masses, have been banned from military ceremonies. From now on, the swearing-in ceremonies of officers and non-commissioned officers in the armed forces will not include a Catholic Mass. The Minister of Defence, Carmen Chacón, has deemed that these religious services must be celebrated in a different place from the official military ceremony and at a time that does not clash with it. The Navy will have to celebrate the Mass in a different place and outside the official acts on that particular day. This is what an order signed at the end of January by the Chief of the Defence Staff specifies. Now, even though it doesn't actually say anything specific about the Navy, the order is a clear message to this branch of the armed services because it was the only military institution that maintained this religious celebration as an official ceremony, given that its annual Navy Day falls on the feast day of its patron, the Virgin of Carmen. In fact, it is only at this event that Catholic ritual becomes an issue, because just a few days before the annual naval officer appointments, there's also in San Fernando in Cádiz this ceremony for appointing non-commissioned officers, and no Mass is included in that ceremony. 2 years ago, the Mass in Marín in Galicia, in northwest Spain, was surrounded by controversy. The Popular Party denounced the fact at the time that the Minister of Defence had tried to cancel the Mass there. Until the middle of June of that year, the Navy was saying that the minister would attend the ceremony, but finally it was the Secretary of State, Constantino Méndez, who turned up with the Prince and Princess of Asturias. The Ministry of Defence then told the organisers that there was never any question of the minister attending, and the Navy finally ratified what the ministry had said. Well, sources from the Navy told the national paper La Razón that the Minister of Defence had really tried to cancel the religious ceremony, but that the bad feeling that her proposal had caused among the Marines and the pressure exerted from other authorities meant that the ceremony ended in the same way as ever, with a Catholic Mass, but not with the minister in attendance. Well, the ministry led by Chacón has been working on the updating of the regulations for military honours, which were drawn up in 1984. The team is aware of the deep roots of Catholic tradition in the armed forces. Therefore, they're preparing the reforms very carefully, especially in what concerns religious matters. Another aspect is that of state funerals, which are to be opened up to other religious confessions apart from just Catholicism, depending on the religion of the person being honoured. The other controversial point of these regulations has to do with the presence of military personnel in Roman Catholic processions. The modification of the regulations will establish the voluntary nature of participation in these events. Currently, it's normal for the military to participate in such processions as the Cristo de la Buena Muerte in Málaga or Corpus Christi in Toledo, but participation is mandatory. Well, these are great steps forward for democratic equality in religious affairs, and evangelicals will be delighted that their soldiers, that is evangelical soldiers, sailors and others, will not have to face the very difficult situation of having to put up with Catholic ritual mixed up with their secular work. Thank you for listening to Letter from England, broadcasting each week. Goodbye for now.